Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Aware that the term anchor baby, that's an offensive term. People find that.
You mean it's not politically correct and yet everybody uses it? So you know what? Give me a different term. Give me a different term. What else would you like to say?
The American-born child of an undocumented immigrant.
Oh, you want me to say that? Okay. No, I'll use the word anchor baby. Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
Well, that was the Donald doubling down on his non-PC campaign promise. He wants to end birthright citizenship, as this is the biggest magnet for illegal immigration. Now, of course, Trump's idea, it's hardly anything new to politics or Congress. Watchdog groups have said that up to 400,000 children are born in the U.S. to illegal immigrants each year. If they are born on U.S. soil, they are entitled to citizenship under an interpretation of the 14th Amendment. And that is what Donald Trump is trying to argue against, is that interpretation is wrong. That's where this whole fuzziness of the anchor baby thing comes in. Children of non-citizens who are born here can petition for legal status for their parents when they turn 21, which is what critics of the law say provides incentive for people to try to cross illegally into the U.S. in order to give birth, and then they can have those children anchor the family in when they return. So there is legislation. It's stalled in Congress, and it would close a loophole in the 14th Amendment by clarifying that birthright citizenship is only given to the children of U.S. citizens and legal resident aliens. So it only makes sense, but of course the left is courting voters who are adamantly against closing this loophole. So the left has basically attacked this idea of ending birthright citizenship in the United States. They're calling it extreme. That is extreme. So globally, the U.S. is only one of a few countries that actually grant automatic citizenship at birth to illegal immigrants. The U.S. and Canada are the only two developed nations that grant automatic citizenship at birth to the children of illegal and temporary immigrants. So other countries have put an end to birthright citizenship, including Ireland, which ended automatic birthright citizenship in 2004 because of birth tourism. And obviously, birth tourism is something that is booming here in the United States. An immigration attorney tells Breitbart News that anchor babies is now big money in the U.S. It's a very big business. Alex Jones has talked about this for years, talked about how they bring people over, put them up in hotels. And these businesses aren't targeting poor immigrant mothers who are coming across the southern border. They're targeting wealthy foreigners from countries like China and Russia. And at times, they make up to $99,000 per sale. And this is completely legal. They target these mothers. They bring them over here, usually in their second trimester. They put them up in hotels. They give them prenatal care. And, they're obviously not going to confirm this, but the doctors are working with these agencies because they're getting paid cash. They're not, in taking Obamacare or anything like that. So they're being paid in cash, and then these mothers hang out until they give birth, and now their kids are U.S. citizens. And so then if they go back to their countries, they can come back here in about 18, 20 years and go to college here. So that's typically why this seems to be such an appealing thing. But nobody is really harping at any of the other countries who do not grant birthright citizenship. They're not saying that they are anti-immigrant. And really, it's simple. Children of illegals and tourists should not be granted automatic citizenship. Children of permanent residents or green card holders should be the ones to have that privilege. That is a very sensible argument. Now, Senator Rand Paul actually co-sponsored a constitutional amendment in 2011 to put an end to birthright citizenship. That's anyone that comes here and gives birth on U.S. soil could now be a citizen. He told NBC News that today's circumstances still warrant that move. And he said, if you have an open border, you can't have birthright citizenship. So Paul has taken a break from the campaign trail to perform pro bono eye surgeries in Haiti. And he took a moment to weigh in on America's obsession with the politically incorrect Trump.
The media, because it's either popular or controversial, has given more attention to one person that's running than everybody else combined
because
times
he's leading
10.
the polls.
Well, it's sort of cart and horse in the cart there a little bit. He was doing a little bit, but then he got probably $1 billion worth of free advertising. He's on every channel all the time, and people have gone gaga over something. And really, I've likened it to the emperor has no clothes.
Well, remember yesterday when Hillary came out and said she wasn't wheeling and dealing in classified information on her server? Well, now her camp has come out today admitting that there was classified email material on her server, but they say that this material became classified retroactively. She said that was done out of an abundance of caution by the U.S. intelligence agencies. A spokesman for Mrs. Clinton's campaign said she was at worst a passive recipient of unwitting information that subsequently became deemed as classified. Oh, like we pointed out yesterday, as the Secretary of State, she would have been the one to determine that material should be counted as classified. But come on, let's get real. Out of an abundance of caution, this is the same State Department that did absolutely nothing to protect her emails after one of her confidants, Sidney Blumenthal, was hacked. That's how people first learned about her private email address in the first place. They didn't do anything at that point to protect her emails, nor is there any indication that the State Department was in charge of any of the other devices that Clinton was using, like that famous BlackBerry. None of those were issued by the State Department, so there wasn't an abundance of caution being used. So why all of a sudden does the establishment seem to be throwing Hillary Clinton under the bus? Well, Tosh Plumlee was on the Alex Jones show today with an explanation.
The reason that they're zeroing in on this dog and pony show and the Trump and all this and stuff is simply for one reason, my opinion, and also documented. The Benghazi murder massacre was only because the ambassador found out about a very secret international gun running operation that it involved U.S. Stinger missiles, and he had the opportunity to purchase those Stinger missiles back to get them off of the international market. So he could buy those Stinger missiles back. This is classified information that I'm talking about. This is the kind of information that is in those skiffs. Now, he had an opportunity to buy that back. So they was told to stand down. Shortly after that, he's dead. The reason that she's being thrown under the bus and the reason for this diversion is that they will not let us get into the fact that the ambassador had uncovered this gun running operation and was asking the U.S. State Department how he should handle it. What should he do with this information that he had received from on the ground, boots on the ground informants, some of them American, some of them NATO. If you remember, NATO went into those Libyan bunkers to clear them out. Where did those weapons go, and what were those weapons? This is what they don't want us to know.
And you also use the term secret government. Repeat that. Talk about the secret government and how it operates.
Well, we have a segment, and I don't want to get into conspiracy stuff and so on like that, but we have a situation that goes all the way back to before Kennedy that has been gradually, I call it the American slow coup d'etat. We have an element, whether it be international, whether it be whatever, and I don't get into all that kind of stuff, but we have a situation that has been developing for years, a slow and gradual infiltration into the CIA, into various political organizations, and it is like a secret government within itself.
So it seems pretty clear that the establishment has set Clinton up to take the fall. Clinton for president in 2016, more like Hillary for prison.
My personal emails are my personal business.
Hillary Clinton, the institutionalized politician and tool of the banking elite, refuses to back down from pure common sense and stop the careening train wreck that is her Democratic presidential campaign.
You were in charge of it. You were the official in charge. Did you wipe the server?
What, like with a cloth or something?
I don't know. You know how it works digitally. Did you try to wipe the whole server?
I don't know how it works digitally at all.
Trump on Clinton emails, it's a criminal problem. So there becomes a point where whether Trump's good or bad, what he's doing is as the #1 media person in the country now, getting all this attention, he is destroying Hillary Clinton. Putting it over the top as all this comes out and then giving everybody cover to go after her. Because if you individually go after them, they come after you. But if everybody goes after them, they can be destroyed. And then that scares all the other crooks to not be so arrogant.
It has now come to light that 2 of Hillary's top aides allegedly violated 2 national security laws by engaging in the transmission of classified information on a private email server. 18 U.S.C. Section 1924 outlaws the unauthorized removal and storage of classified information. Penalties may include fines and imprisonment of up to 1 year. In March, Army General David Petraeus was sentenced to 2 years probation and a $40,000 fine for violating this very statute after providing classified documents to his biographer, Paula Broadwell. 18 U.S. Code Section 793 covers national defense information and people who misuse it to injure the United States or benefit a foreign power. Those convicted of violating that law face fines and up to 10 years in prison. The Washington Free Beacon reports additionally the 2 Clinton aides, Huma Abedin and Cheryl Mills, disregarded a federal judge's order this month requiring both to make sworn statements to the court that all government documents in their possession will be returned to federal officials, said Chris Farrell, Director of Investigations for Judicial Watch. Hillary's staff would have us all believe this is simply an administrative mishap, regardless of the fact that her BlackBerry and private computer equipment weren't issued by the State Department, as she was acting as the Secretary of State of the United States of America. CNET senior editor Dan Ackerman explained, anytime you're bringing your own equipment and using it for work purposes, it's not as secure as something that's actually issued by the company, i.e. the State Department. Because they take those laptops, for example, and they pre-configure them, they put their own software on them, tracking software, update software, and they distribute them. Jeffrey Sterling, a former CIA agent, was sentenced to 42 months in prison for leaking classified information to New York Times reporter James Risen in 2003. U.S. Attorney Dana Bonte said in a statement, for his own vindictive purposes, Jeffrey Sterling carelessly disclosed extremely valuable, highly classified information that he had taken an oath to keep secret. His attempt to leverage national security information for his own malicious reasons brought him to this sentence today. Hillary's classified emails were available to any hacker and thus available to the public or a foreign entity at any time. In comparison to convicted CIA agent Sterling, Hillary's hubris put national security in a far more precarious spot. If our national security laws apply to everyone, as they should, Hillary's arrest should be swift and her campaign of rampant deception terminated immediately. John Bound for Infowars.com.
You want the best that's out there at the lowest price anywhere? Well, we're bringing you a total win-win. The ultimate value, cutting-edge, trailblazing game changer that also supports the InfoWar. We have produced a limited run of DNA Force, and it will take up to 12 weeks to produce more once we sell out. Secure your DNA Force today at InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. DNA Force from InfoWars Life.